A red cloth, seemingly harmless, yet carrying a terrifying curse. The first part will reveal hidden secrets, whispers from the other side, and the darkness closing in. Get ready to step into part 1, the origin of grievance. One morning in an old dormitory, on a small, narrow single bed, Tan Cam was still fast asleep, a slight curve to her lips as if lost in a sweet dream. The sudden ring of her phone shattered the peaceful atmosphere. Still half asleep, she fumbled for her mobile, eyes half closed, and grumbled, "Who's so annoying? Can't a person get some peace and quiet in the morning?" A shrill female voice came from the other end. "What do you mean at night? The sun's already high in the sky, my dear friend. Get up, come to my place right now. I'm back." Upon hearing the familiar voice, Tan Cam instantly woke up. It was Duong TT, her infamously chaotic friend. "You're a disaster. When you're gone, the world is at peace. But as soon as you're back, everything's a mess. Do I need to throw a welcome party for you?" Before she could finish, the call ended. Tan Cam just sat there, sighing dejectedly. She knew that Duong TT's nature. Getting involved with her only meant more trouble. A black cat suddenly jumped onto the bed, its bright yellow eyes looking at its owner, meowing for food. She stroked it and smiled softly. "Hack Bao. Looks like we have to go see the Typhoon TT today." Hack Bao was originally a stray cat she had found on a freezing winter night. Now it was her beloved pet, showered with all sorts of treats. After getting ready, the mirror reflected a tall, graceful, and elegant young woman. Tan Cam pursed her lips in a bitter smile. "With all these qualities, I still can't find a decent boyfriend. Have all the good men become extinct?" Duong TT's house was in a villa complex with a vibrant flower garden. As Tan Cam stepped into the spacious living room, she saw 3 people already waiting. Duong TT hugged Hack Bao, doting on it without end. Lam Kai handed Tan Cam a glass of water, maintaining her trendy and chic style. In a corner of the room was Luke On Kai, TT's cousin, with a gentle and refined demeanor, the epitome of a well-bred young lady. The group quickly gathered, listening to Duong TT recount her recent trip. Her voice was captivating, especially when she talked about the distant region of Shaanxi. "That place is breathtakingly beautiful. At night, you can just look up and feel like you can touch the stars. And in the afternoon, kitchen smoke drifts over the old rooftops. It's truly peaceful, like paradise. We must go there together next time." Soon, it was time for the gifts. Duong TT gleefully brought out a large box and unwrapped it layer by layer. Everyone's eyes followed her every move. When the final layer was torn away, a flash of red burst forth, illuminating the entire room. Inside was just a single piece of fabric. But the shade of red was so beautiful, so mesmerizingly radiant, that it left everyone stunned. Just then, Hack Bao jolted, let out a startled cry, and leaped out the window. Tan Cam panicked and ran after it, but only managed to see the cat's shadow vanish at the end of the road. The room fell silent. On the sofa, the red fabric lay there, emitting a soft, warm, and eerily enchanting glow. Luke On Kai whispered, "I've never seen a fabric with such a beautiful shade of red. TT, where did you find it?" Duong TT lifted her chin smugly. "In a small, remote town. It was hanging in front of an old house. The moment I saw it, I was captivated, so I was determined to bring it home." One by one, they touched the fabric. The material was unbelievably smooth, cool yet soft, and once they laid their hands on it, they didn't want to let go. Duong TT smiled and announced, "I'm going to have it made into a one-of-a-kind cheongsam. If there's any left, you guys can share it." Unbeknownst to them, from that very moment, the red fabric had quietly woven its way into their lives, like a sharp blade cutting open an invisible wound. In the modern age, women rarely seek out custom tailors anymore, as clothing stores offer a wide variety of styles for them to choose from. However, there are some special garments that not only enhance a woman's beauty, but also make her look exponentially more radiant, like a platinum setting that makes a diamond shine even brighter. For every woman, Such a dress is a must-have in her lifetime. Duong Titi held the design sketch from a famous designer in her hands. Yet, she and her friends had to drive to a remote town to find a skilled tailor. Her frustration made Titi grumble as she drove. Why do we have to come all the way to this desolate place to find a tailor? It's so inconvenient. Why do all the talented people like to hide in these secluded places? Lam Kai shrugged slightly, replying with a knowing air. Talented people are often a bit eccentric and don't like socializing. That's why they don't get rich. But their craftsmanship is unmatched. Tan Cam didn't pay much attention. Her mind was preoccupied with her cat, Hak Bao. She was not in the mood to appreciate how beautiful the scenery outside was. A sense of loss lingered in her heart. Could Hak Bao also be just a temporary visitor in her life? The town was deserted, probably because it was midday. On the cobblestone street, all they could hear was the fading sound of children's footsteps and laughter from a small alley. After passing through a few narrow alleys, they found an old tailor shop. The walls were covered with scraps of green and red fabric, and on the table, a large pair of scissors lay next to a rusty sewing machine. TT wrinkled her nose, her voice full of sarcasm. "This is the residence of a master tailor? I find that hard to believe." The door opened, revealing a middle-aged man with a bald head, dark skin, and simple clothes. He was the very tailor they had traveled so far to find. After listening to the customer's request, he just said, "My name is Ho. May I take a look at the fabric first?" Lam Kai opened the box and carefully took out the fabric. Strangely, the edge of the fabric seemed to writhe on its own, as if wanting to break free from the wrapping paper. When the fabric was spread out, the reflected light illuminated the entire room. Mr. Ho was stunned, his eyes seemingly fixated on the fabric. The four girls exchanged glances, unable to hide their excitement. He lifted the fabric, holding it up to the light. It shimmered like an ornament on a belly dancer's waist, exuding a mesmerizing and enchanting allure. For a moment, Mr. Ho seemed to forget their presence. Lucan Kai asked in a low voice, "He seems to really like this red fabric, doesn't he?" The question earned her a simultaneous glare from the other three. "Don't talk nonsense." Feeling rebuffed, Kai wandered deeper into the house. Inside, it was dark and cluttered, and the air smelled faintly of mildew. For a young lady accustomed to a life of luxury, everything here was strange. She finally stopped in front of an old makeup table made of rosewood. The mirror was dusty, and a small chair was neatly placed in front of it. Intrigued, she sat down, picked up the wooden comb on the table, and gently brushed her shiny black hair. In the hazy mirror, her reflection appeared captivatingly beautiful. She smiled, but then the smile faded. A fleeting figure appeared in the mirror, an old woman with a hunched back, dressed in black with a white headscarf, slowly walking in. Kai spun around in terror but saw no one. A cold draft swept through, making her shiver. Suddenly, a bony hand reached out from behind the wooden door. Standing right there, the old woman with the white headscarf covering half her face shuffled towards her. A trembling voice rang out, "Give it back to me! Give it back to me!" Kai screamed, collapsing onto the floor. The commotion brought Mr. Ho and the others running. Mr. Ho immediately recognized her. "Mother, why are you out here?" But the old woman kept her hand stretched out towards Kai, repeating, "Give it back to me! Give it back to me!" Tan Cam saw that Kai was still holding the old woman's comb. She quickly took it from Kai's hand and gave it to the old woman. As soon as she touched it, the old woman fell silent, only breathing heavily. Kai nervously explained, "I thought that room was empty, so I just tried using it." Mr. Ho quickly explained, "My mother has poor eyesight and can't see clearly, so she must have misunderstood. Please don't mind her." The group helped Kai out to rest. The old woman fumbled her way back into the room, as if seeking some peace. To comfort his mother, Mr. Ho brought the fabric over, his voice full of pride. "Mother, look, this is the most beautiful fabric I've ever seen. I'll turn it into the most exquisite garment." But unexpectedly, The old woman shrieked in a high-pitched voice, "Put it down! Give it back to them right now!" Everyone froze. She lifted her head, her wrinkled face and pale, ghostly eyes looking terrifying. Mr. Ho was startled. "Mother, you don't understand. This fabric is a rare treasure. In my hands, it will surely become a masterpiece." The old woman's only reply was a series of clear words. "Put it down. Give it back to them." Then she turned and silently walked back into the darkness of the inner room. Mr. Ho was speechless. His mother had never interfered with his work before. But today, why was she reacting so violently? Duong TT, despite offering a fee many times higher than the usual rate, was met with Mr. Ho's firm refusal. In the end, they had no choice but to leave the small town. In the car, no one spoke a word, each of them feeling a mix of disappointment and annoyance, as if misfortune was dogging their every step. The car stopped in front of Tan Cam's house. She got out and stood on the deserted street, her heart suddenly aching for Hak Bao. He must be on his way back. He's probably just wandering around nearby. With that thought, she picked up her sky blue cat carrier and called meow, meow, while rummaging through the trash cans along the road, looking like a person heartbroken. Suddenly, a pair of white athletic shoes appeared in front of her. They swayed rhythmically, accompanied by a tall shadow standing directly in front of her. Looking up, Tan Cam's eyes met a familiar face that was staring intently at her. "Tan Cat Baby, is that you?" She froze. It had been a long time since anyone had called her by that nickname. A piece of her childhood memory came rushing back. As a child, she would hug cats all day, muttering and talking to them. Her friends began to tease her, calling her Tan Cat Baby. As she grew up, the name became a painful wound associated with the complexes of her late puberty. She gritted her teeth, trying to keep her voice calm. "Who are you?" The man slicked his hair back and grinned. "Who am I? Look closely, you really don't recognize me?" Tan Cam looked again, only to find him ridiculous. Each of his facial features, if viewed separately, might have been decent, but together, they were unbelievably awkward. The designer clothes he wore looked like a piece of hastily wrapped fabric on him. Didn't fit him at all. She suddenly remembered. "Ha Lung, is that really you?" Right, it's me. The one who used to steal your school bag, put caterpillars in your pencil case, and even lit a match to your hair. Oh, and the time I farted during a test and blamed it on you." Tan Kim gritted her teeth, almost wanting to smack him with the cat carrier. So, he still remembered every little prank he used to play on her as a child. She reluctantly nodded in greeting, trying to be polite. But he added another jab. "Huh, are you collecting trash? Oh my goodness." The black dress she was wearing was a designer brand, and her sandals were worth thousands of yuan. Yet in his eyes, they had become the uniform of a trash collector. What an idiot. She straightened her posture. "I'm looking for my cat. He ran away last night." Ka Luong chuckled, bringing up the past again. "You're still obsessed with cats, huh? Remember in the 3rd grade, you brought a sick cat to class and kept meowing at it, which is why I gave you the nickname Tan Cat Baby." Hearing that, Tan Cam felt her blood boil. That very nickname had tormented her throughout her adolescence. But he wasn't done yet. "You went to a prestigious university, right? A successful person now, but you've never come back for a class reunion. Seems like you look down on us." She suppressed her anger and politely asked, "What have you been up to lately?" He pulled out a business card, looking smug. "I'm a heavenly Dao master, inheriting a family trade. Geomancy, ghost busting, fortune-telling, and Bazi reading. I'll give you a free reading as a first-time client." Tan Cam almost laughed, but only managed a sarcastic remark. After saying goodbye to him, she went home, feeling so exhausted she wanted to burst into tears. Losing her cat, being rejected by a tailor, and then meeting her childhood tormentor who treated her like a trash collector. It was all too much to bear. She drank a few sips of wine to help her sleep, then still called meow, meow from her window, hoping Hak Bao would return. That night, she fell into a heavy sleep, but a feeling of unease lingered in her heart. In the middle of the night, a strange noise came from under her bed. She shot up, her heart pounding. Looking down, she saw a pitch-black head with long, disheveled hair, slowly crawling out. It got bigger and bigger, getting closer and closer. She was frozen, wanting to scream, but her throat was choked. The head looked up, its eerie green eyes staring intently at her. In that very moment, it lunged straight at her face, its tongue licking across her lips. She was dazed, then recognized the familiar feeling. Meow! She pulled hard on the wig, and under the tangled hair was Hackbao. Tears streamed down her face. She hugged the cat, feeling both love and anger. Its body was covered in scratches. It must have been trapped in the trash with this cursed wig. After bathing and disinfecting the cat, she finally calmed down. Hackbao was obedient, its eyes teary as if to say it had tried its best to find its way back to her. She turned on her computer, placing the cat gently on the table. But when she looked up, the mirror on the wall didn't reflect her, but a long-haired woman in a green dress with a pale, eyeless face standing right behind her. Hackbao growled, leaping up to shield the mirror. In the mirror, the faceless woman's face was still soaked with blood, staring out intently, as if she wanted to break through the glass and step into the room. The darkness hasn't lifted yet, and the curse of the red cloth has only just begun. To make sure you don't miss what happens next, don't forget to like and subscribe my channel. If you have any feedback, please share your thoughts in the comments below. I'll do my best to make the next videos even better. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.